Full sendage. Come on, there's 7. Gotta really lay off the steering, because if you hit that rear steer when you're going down a ramp like that, you are doomed. Hello and welcome back to SnowRunner, y'all, and this is the console version, the full console version, full non-branded version of Lime's new F350 Shorty, and it's called the L300. Now, I know that some of y'all, when we originally showed the Shorty F350, some people were a little bit skeptical on when it was going to be dropping, or if it was going to be dropping, or at least when the console version was going to be dropping, and as of recording this video, this truck is available on mod.io and is in the process of being tested by the developers and will be released on console platforms very, very soon. We do not have an exact date on when it will be released, because essentially the way it works, if you're not familiar, is the mod gets submitted, it gets tested, and if it passes, it drops on console. If it does not pass, it goes back to the mod creator and they go back and make changes, and then it gets submitted again, and the developers test it again, and if it passes, it drops. If it doesn't pass, it goes back to the creator, and the cycle repeats until it meets the criteria, and then it will drop on console. So as soon as this thing passes developer testing, it will be available on consoles, and it has all the necessary files for next gen and previous gen systems. So once it passes testing, it will once again be available on those systems, and it also has switch files. So again, once it passes testing, it will be good to go. Now, since this is pretty similar to the PC version, I mean, it's basically the same truck, just completely unbranded. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be spending a lot more time on the driving experience than we are on kind of going into the way the customization works. If you want a more in-depth look at the customization, you can go watch my original video on Lime's F350 Shorty. But again, in this video, we are out here on Lime's R&D site 2.0, which is actually available on console as well. Look it up on your console mod browser and sort by maps and latest updates to find it, or once again, sort by Lime's, or search by Lime's and or Lime's R&D site 2.0 to find it on your mod browser. Now, let's go ahead and grab the other version of this truck as well, which is really, really interesting because that version has rear steer, and I did not show that in my original video on this truck. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and grab it. It's the Lime's L300 Shorty RS, and then as you can see right here, this is the PC version, the F350 Shorty. So we're going to grab the L300 Shorty RS, and we're going to do a quick build on this thing. We're going to give it the max built 6.7, we're going to give it the fast transmission, and we're going to give it the lifted suspension, and we're going to take this thing into some obstacles and see what happens when you give a truck with this short of a wheelbase and this much power rear steer. Now, I don't know how kind of aggressive the rear steer is. We'll still have to, we'll have to find out, but I think it's going to be pretty gnarly. Now, let's see. I've run these cut T1s before, so I think what we're going to do this time is we're going to run the Swamper setup. These Swampers are wild looking. Not only that, but they're massive. So let's see. I think we're just going to do a very quick build on this one, and we'll go ahead and throw the bed stack in the back. Thing is massive. I called it the trash can stack in my first video on this truck, and I stand by that, because not in a bad way, not in a way that like, oh, it looks terrible and that's why I call it a trash can stack, but no, it literally is the size of a trash can, and that's why I call it a trash can stack. So with that being said, let's see what happens when we take the rear steer version out into some obstacles. It sounds insane. This thing has always sounded so good. I wonder how good it is at doing donuts. Oh, God. Yep, with the rear steer, it flips over if you try to do donuts on pavement. Oh, my God. All right. Let's head on over to the mud and see what this thing is like over there, because this is gnarly. This is definitely going to be more of your crawler version with the rear steer, because with that rear steer, of course, you're going to have amazing maneuverability and tighter obstacles, but I've got to tell you, going fast with the rear steer is very sketchy. Oh, that jump would be massive. We'll probably land on the nose if we do this, but I just want to see what happens. Oh, my God. Roll it over? Maybe? Hey, we're good. Honestly, I wasn't expecting us to be good with that, but let's see how the rear steer is in the mud. I wonder if it'll help us in the mud at all. I've also never used these Swampers in mud on this truck, and the Swampers absolutely shred. Oh, easy. Okay, so I've got to say, I never used on the original F350, like, branded PC version, I never used the Swampers. and I'm kind of upset that I didn't use them because they are absolutely ridiculously good. They are so insanely good that I'm probably going to end up building multiple mud truck versions of this thing just so I can use these swampers, because I haven't taken it out of high gear yet. Look how oh, okay, that was my bad. I kind of pitched it in a weird angle, and when you do that, that's kind of what, yeah, that's kind of what happens. Now, let's do a build where we change both of these trucks up just a little bit, because we're going to go ahead and change the tires on this one. We're going to go for something a little, yeah, people are going to get mad at these, aren't they? People are going to get mad about these, but there's a reason we're doing this, and it's actually going to be interesting. So we're going to throw the gooseneck hitch in the bed, then we're going to throw the weighted bumper on the front. We're going to go outside, and then we're going to back up over to where the trailer store is, and we're going to throw a gooseneck on the back of this truck, and then we're going to put the other version, the rear steer version, on the trailer to see what this thing is actually like to tow with. So let's see. Where's my, not the 6 unit. I don't want the 6 unit for this. The 6 unit is going to be, I would say, on the a little too big side of things. The standard 4 unit with the smaller tires will be just fine. You know what, though? This thing needs bigger tires. I cannot deal with the tires being this small. Can we, oh God. What about, I mean, those look good, but they're a little huge. What about, yeah, those look better. Those look a lot better. Those look a lot more like what I would want this thing to have. The only problem is they're so big that the front bumper clips into them. So I tell you what, actually, let's take off the bumper weight for now, and we'll go one size down on the tires, and then we'll leave this thing right, why is it not, oh God. It literally, my controller stopped working. All right, we've got the other one. We've got the mud truck version, and my controller magically works again. So we're going to position this near the back of the trailer. We're going to put those ramps down, and we're going to see how that thing actually is in terms of towing. Now, all right, we're going to have to turn, yep, we're going to have to turn the engine on to lower the ramps. Probably still the weirdest thing. Still don't get it. Still don't get it. All right, up it goes. That's honestly about the perfect size for this truck. Like, obviously, we can move it around and we've got a bunch of space to spare, but I really like using the smaller 4-unit gooseneck for trucks that size. All right, so let's go ahead and pack it up. Dude, that looks perfect. That looks so good up there. That's actually an amazing setup. You could roll up to, like, any mud park with a setup like this, and it would essentially be the, like, everybody would be taking pictures of this setup. Everybody would be all over it. Unless, well, unless maybe you just really didn't like anything Ford truck related. But I don't really like to, like, you know, necessarily be too brand specific, because I feel like when you're that brand specific, like, I can't like anything Ford related, or I can't like anything Chevy or Dodge related, I feel like you cut yourself off from experiencing so many really good builds and great trucks, because, you know, it's like every brand has their ups and downs. It's like, some brands have injector issues, some brands have transmission issues, some brands have head gasket issues. It's like, pick which issue you want to deal with, because each brand is going to have one. And if anybody's like, well, actually, no, I like this brand because this brand has no issues to speak of whatsoever, that's not the case. Every brand is going to have its, you know, one or two particular issues, and that's just going to be that. And I'm not saying that to go after any truck brand specifically. It's more just like each brand is going to have one issue or another. Uh-oh. I should have raised the suspension. Especially in the back. Oh, God. All right, let's see if we can get a little bit more of a running start for this, because it's gonna scrape. I'm gonna need this thing to be in high. Oh, no, I can't steer. Well, that went well. I don't know if this is actually gonna be able to get to the top of the hill without the front weight. Like, I really don't think it is. All right, hold on. We're gonna go ahead and put that rear suspension back down. We're going to pull this up, and then let's see. we're gonna add the bumper weight literally just for the hill. So let's go ahead and give it some beans. Yep, and that makes it so that we can steer. And that's really all that we need to be able to do. We need to be able to steer, and as long as we can do that, we are A-okay. All right, come on. Come on! Oh, almost! That was honestly, like, so close to not working. That was so close to us just getting completely stuck up at the top of the ramp. I was like, are you sure about that? All right, so now I'm back and forth about whether we send the whole combination down or if we see which one goes farther because they're on different tire sizes. I think we're gonna send each one separately. So let's go ahead and stop this thing's engine. We'll grab this one, and I'm gonna just, yeah, I don't need ramps. I mean, clearly. Why would this thing need ramps? It's literally a shorty all-wheel steer crawler, basically. Crawler, mud truck, mega truck. It's kind of like whatever you want it to be on whatever given day of the week, you know? Full sendage. Come on, there's 7th. Gotta really lay off the steering because if you hit that rear steer when you're going down a ramp like that, you are doomed. Come on. Oh, dude. If it had landed, like, upright, that would have been probably the best jump I've ever done on this mega ramp. All right, let's grab the other one, and we're going to detach the trailer, and we're also going to delete it because that trailer is not going to help us at all. It's actually going to hurt us on the way down. So this thing has smaller wheels and tires, so I don't think it's going to go as far because it's not going to have as much rolling speed. But let's see. There's 8th gear. Full beans. Not quite as far, but... Oh, no! I love how that other truck just absolutely just gave itself the beans to try to come over and save us. That was freaking beautiful. That was absolutely freaking beautiful. One more thing, though, before we finish up. I want to see how much of a difference those taller swampers make in this mud pit over here, because this mud pit is nasty. It's insane. So let's see what this thing's got. Let's go. Yo, the momentum. Okay, it didn't actually get stuck until all the way at the end, but to be fair, it's buried up to the doors. All right, now we're going to grab the one that's lifted much higher and it's on taller tires. So let's go ahead and give you a quick repair and put the suspension in high mode. Yeah, it's got quite a bit of travel now. Well, not even travel, but just like pure suspension height. All right, what do y'all think is going to happen? Do you think this one's going to make it farther, or do you think it's going to stop in the same place? I don't really know, honestly. It's really hard to say. Oh, no! Well, that wasn't actually what I thought was going to happen. And I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of people, in the comments that are going to say, this truck would have won if not for the skill issue behind the wheel. And I'm like, to be fair, you might have a point. But if y'all enjoyed this video, make sure to let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. And if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on. And I will see y'all next time. Talk to y'all later.